Welcome to the Rhetorical Sake podcast. Have you listened to the show before? Be honest.
I'm gonna need you to dig deep. I'm gonna need you to get some clout about yourself. Get that confidence. Ain't nobody else gonna have confidence for you, baby. You might think you look a little funny. You might be shaped a little weird. Believe me, I am too. I will not let that stop me. What I want is to leave an impact that's immutable. That means you can take from it and there is no loss to it. It can gain and it will stand the test of time. We're here to gain momentum, not to dwell on the past. Yeah, we can buy off of our experiences, our drunkalogs, all the troubles, all the pains, all the traumas. But you know what? I'm gonna use those as stepping stones. And even if I gotta pick up a stone and take a step back, I hope I leave enough for you. I didn't really know what I was doing when I started this show. I didn't know where it was going. But something picked up. Something caught fire. I hope you find what's gonna pick up for you. I hope you get started on what brings you joy, on what brings you passion, on what brings you relevance.
You know, it turned something in me was like, I gotta go home. I gotta know what it is. Yeah. And luckily I came back when I did, because it's like now Chicago has such a market here. And I just feel like it's been really opening and welcoming to me. So yeah, booking Chicago P.D. Whew, that was a journey, because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna book this. They'll probably want me. But I watched a couple of episodes before I auditioned, and I kind of got the dull, monotone, daytime TV voice in there.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to overact it or overplay myself, so I was just like, I'm just gonna go in with that.
I can't keep walking through this life irrelevant. I can't keep walking through this life aimless. I can't keep stumbling through this life drunk and blacked out, high and stoned out of my mind. I gotta walk with purpose. I gotta carry some things. This is my cross to bear. Welcome to the Rhetorical Sake.
I hope you guys are ready to keep it real today, because I got one of the realest ones out there. Let me tell you. Miss Iesha Rochelle is joining us today on the Rhetorical Sake for another K.I.R. episode. I'm going to keep dishing them out as long as y'all keep on showing up and the guests keep on dishing out their business. That's what we here to do. In any case, me and Iesha and I, we have had some good times, especially when I arrived in North Hollywood, so naive, so young, so unprepared for what Los Angeles had in store for me, from what the television and film industry was ready to do to me, chew me up and spit me out. But you know what? I got right back up, and here we are. Iesha saw me through it. She was my roommate, my housemate. She took me in. I went from living on a boat in Marina Del Rey to a trailer in someone's backyard in Venice to North Hollywood, Toluca Lake, Burbank, right on the cusp of those studio lots, those back lots, those sound stages, and those writers' rooms. So thank you so much for joining us. This is a really fun episode. I'm so stoked to share this with the world. I'm really grateful that Iesha took the time to do this. It's so funny. We found out that we had the same TV show, Chicago P.D, in common. We've both worked on that show. She didn't even know that was the show I worked on while I was living with her. So here we are. Goes to show you how close we really were. In any case, look, I got to give a shout out. Let me let y'all know. The Real Deal email is back. I don't know what happened. I was working with Squarespace and G Suite and Google and all this stuff. Look, ERTH at erhunter.live. That's ERTH without the A, ERTH at erhunter.live. That's where you can email me. If you're interested in being a sponsor, you want to find out about my books, any speaking events, you need a keynote or an introductory, an opening act, whatever. Virtual, live, I'm good at it. Let's do it. In any case, if you want to read about my story, check out my book, God Sent Dog. That's the story about how my dog inspired me to change my ways, get right, put down the drink, and start to think. Also, Chasing God Alcoholically. This is a book I wrote while in rehab, and it has been shared in group therapy sessions at said rehab, and I'm proud of it. It's picking up steam. It's available, both of them, on Amazon and Kindle. I am just so stoked to finally be living my dream each and every day. We've lost so many great great titans of industry, great personalities over these last decade, over these last few years, and especially last year. But that doesn't mean that the good times are over. I think that means that room is being made for a new generation of moguls, a new generation of personalities. Room has been made. Opening spots are available for folks like you and I. So I'm going to keep doing what I got to do, because if they left me one thing as an artist, if they left me one thing as a thespian, as a speaker, as a personality, it's to keep going. There's a reason I started in this direction. There's a vocation about it. There's a purpose, and I am going to keep going towards that goal. I want to thank each and every one of you that appreciate and listen to this podcast. If you haven't done it already, subscribe to this show on whatever platform, follow it, Spotify, Apple. We're about to get set up on some other venues because this thing is really taking off, and I'm so very grateful. Hey, I hope that this interview leaves you inspired, encouraged, and feeling really good about yourself. We have some good laughs on here, and I am just so stoked. Iesha is a Chicago native. She's worked on TV shows like Chicago P.D, Goliath. She's a model. She's an actress. She really showed me how one hones in on their craft. And one thing about her, she's never downgraded herself. She's never changed who her authentic self was. She's improved all the more better. And to see her all grown up, oh my, oh my. Now, pay attention, because there is a big growing announcement on this episode, and I call her out for shouting it out before I really wanted to release that news on here, but hey, it's her business, so it is what it is. Iesha, I want to thank you so much. I know the audience is going to enjoy this, so here we go. Welcome to The Rhetorical Sake, keeping it real with Iesha Rochelle.
Welcome to ERTH.
Look at there.
There we go. Can you hear me all right? We're good?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're looking good. You're looking great. Iesha, welcome to the Rhetorical Sake podcast. Have you listened to the show before? Be honest.
Okay, wait, check me out. I've just got into podcasts for real. So I'm trying to find exactly when and how, which ones. Like, there's some murder mystery stuff. There is Amanda Seals I've listened to quite enough, but she kind of rings in my ear sometimes, so I gotta turn her off. I listen to some relationship ones, but it's hard to it's so many.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And honestly, I don't really push it on people that are close to me that I know, because the first thing somebody says be like, is that your voice? Is that you? You know? But it's very vulnerable. But me and you, we go back, what was that, 2016 I met you.
Ooh, dang, was that 2016?
Yeah, almost five years, 6 years.
Look at us.
Yes. I was working on a Chicago show. You're from Chicago. So just let me, the audience, know, what's the background? Where are you from? What's
So born and raised in Chicago, yes.
South Side?
Right. But South Side, North Side, we moved up north when my mom wanted to buy a house. I was in high school, things like that. That's where I met my fiance. And it was just, I kind of lived all over the city because my family's all over. We go visit everybody. We one of them families. We always get together. Yes. So it was kind of every part of the city was a part of me, and it was different because going to LA and then telling people I'm from Chicago, immediately they're going to be like, oh, what's the best spots to eat at? Or what's the best spots to go to when you want a club? And leaving at 18, I'm like, hell, I don't know. Well, I left by the time it was time for me to do all those things. So it turned something in me, was like, I gotta go home. I gotta know what it is. Yeah. And luckily I came back when I did, because it's now Chicago has such a market here. And I just feel like it's been really opening and welcoming to me. So yeah, booking Chicago PD, whew, that was a journey, because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna book this. They'll probably want me. But I watched a couple of episodes before I auditioned, and I kind of got the dull, monotone, daytime TV voice in there. Yeah. And I didn't want to overact it or overplay myself. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go in with that straight monotone daytime TV voice, and let's see what happens. And then boom, I had to check a veil, and check a veil is pretty much making sure you're available for those shoot days. And my agent called me about that, and I was like, yeah, I'm available, of course. And then like literally the next day she was like, girl, you got it. And I was like,
yes. Okay. So wait, hold up. Now, when I met you in 2016, I was working on Chicago PD.
You were, which was crazy.
Yes, and you were from Chicago. So wait a minute. Now, it's been like 3-4 years since we've seen each other. You transitioned back from LA to Chicago, where I've seen your work. I mean, I thought I was keeping up with your IG. I didn't see nothing about Chicago PD. So you got cast on the show. Like what, 6th season?
It was season 6, episode 11. I got cast and filmed in 2018. And then the episode I did aired in 2019.
I had no idea. And you went with me to the Wolf Films Christmas party.
Yes.
And literally like the vice president of the company was like, who was that you were dancing with last night on the dance floor? I was like, that's my roommate. She's from Chicago.
Yes. I wonder if they recognize me like, that little girl we've seen before.
I'm sure he did, because he definitely saw us dancing. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good. Look, all right. Because that's, a lot of greats, come through that. You could go back over Law and Order. You be like, I didn't know they was even on season 2 of SVU,
Oh my gosh. Even like Grey's Anatomy, I'm redoing Grey's Anatomy and I'm like on season 3 and I see so many actors on there that are like in big stuff now. And I'm like, dang, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to play Jesse Williams' drunk little brother. They haven't written him in yet, but I'm about to write that spec. I'm gonna come in just tore up. Yeah.
Just tore up. Oh yeah, you can get it.
Look, I know how it is. You saw me. This is something I kind of wanted to bring up. This is something I really want to bring up, and I'm older now. I can handle this, but you saw me hit a peak in my life career-wise, but you also saw the destruction. And I wanted to get some feedback. What was that like for you? Like, what were the red flags when, we have good energy. Like, we have a good aura thing. So I could feel when you were like, hold up.
Well, it was crazy because it kind of took me back, because it was like, I was young and like on kind of like the same path. So I didn't, at first, like just living through it, I was just like, oh, I mean, it's fine. Like, I'll come home on Tuesday. You got a bottle. I'm ready. And then like, as it constantly kept happening, it was kind of like, I was questioning myself, like, damn, do I drink too much? And I know Tedra was like, we were all like, just kind of, just codepending on each other. It was that time, we're young, we're just trying to get day by day, pay these bills and live life. And then it's like, you take a step back and like, oh wait, I didn't drink no water today, but I had a bottle. So it took me some time after, like, once you had moved out and then you had told me like you were doing the rehab thing. And I was like, oh wow, this was much more serious than I thought. And then it made me think and go back and really analyze why I wanted to go back home, why I thought it was important to be around family. When you went over to your family, I was just like, maybe this is all what it's supposed to be. Like, because we were a little out of control.
Oh no, I never thought that about you, because I'd be like, okay, let's have a shot. You want a shot? And you'd be like, yeah, okay. So you take a shot with me, and then I'd be like, oh, come on, let's have another one. You're like, I'm good. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, I thought we have at least 2 or 3, but you never, crossed that threshold. You're normal, you didn't have that ism, but you also recognized it. And, I could see, really it was the drug use for me coming home. And it was just like, I could see that distance. And even though I thought I was chilling, I was cool, I think it was pretty obvious, waking you up 3 a.m. to bring in a mattress that I didn't found. I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed.
Yes.
You were like, did you get this off the street? And then you were like, this got spider webs on it.
You're like, it's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Okay.
But LA is a trip. And especially when you're young and, pursuing your dream, you really had a level head. I always respected that about you. You were invested, you were serious. You were doing paper. Yes.
Uber and lifted, caregiving, Postmated. I was
tidy.
This money.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget when you started tidy.
cleaning folks' houses. Look.
You told that lady was like, oh, I needed you to do the windows. You were like, oh, you're supposed to order a mighty tidy.
Like that's not me.
You're right. That wasn't included in the package. We need you to revisit the app. I remember the box. I remember the vacuum. I remember it all.
And I still got some of that stuff.
Yes, keep it. True. Especially these days. Got to be hygienic.
For real. True.
So it's the L out there, right? It ain't the Metro. It's the L.
Exactly. It's the L.
Okay.
And called the L.
Now, what was your character like on PD?
So she had to be a snitch. And I say this with
I think they did know who you were because I think that was about me.
Okay. So she was a baby mama and her guy got involved in some stuff that was going down with just like the councilman and things that was like happening on a higher level. And he was like one of the go-getters for this person on the street, and they needed more information about what he's been doing, what information he has. And I was trying to protect him. I'm trying to hold it down for us. You feel me?
All right.
But they came knocking on my door with my baby in my arms. They threatened to take my baby away from me. It got to the point where I'm like, all right, he was talking to some white lady. Like, I'm sorry, baby. I love you. But yeah, so I ended up snitching on him. But the thing is, like, the information I gave them actually didn't get them far, which I love. Mm-hmm. So it was like they just knew about the white lady. So they didn't really go for him for me snitching. They went to her. Gotcha. So I was like, okay, I held it down still.
Yeah. They're big on like keeping the informants confidential and
yes,
a lot goes into it. Well, I'm proud of you for getting that far. Now, has there been, because I see like this underwater shoot I saw a post on IG.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What was all that about?
Underwater shoot. This is with actually a photographer in LA. Well, she's not in well, she's outside of LA, but in California. She does a lot of underwater shoots. I've done like mermaid shoots with her, shoots with Tedra. Like we just do like, you know, a yin and yang kind of shoot down.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's harder than you think to do underwater shoots.
I can't imagine.
But once you get the hang of actually like sinking and trying to look good at the same time.
And not breathing for a minute.
Yeah. And she takes some really good photos and gets some really good angles. So
okay. Yeah, no, it looked fabulous. It looked gorgeous. Now, how did you get into acting? Like, what is there a part of you that were just like, I knew, or is it something like, okay, I need to use this energy, this emotion that I have had, you know?
A lot of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was the first girl, and I had big brothers, and they were all just very masculine and rough. And I'm a fragile little being. I cry. Like, don't hit me. I'm gonna cry. Oh, yeah. So I had a lot of emotions, and then I would talk to myself a lot because I love playing with my dolls, and no one else to play with until my sister was old enough. By the time I was about 8, 9, so I had already established all my imaginary friends in my head. So she had no room. So just doing and going through that, and I love being like the kid they pull out to dance at the house parties, and you know your mama like, go ahead, get Rochelle daughter, she know how to dance.
Yeah.
So that'd be me, like, you know, they pull me out and I'm looking at everybody, don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know everybody happy to see me do something. So,
right.
So it's mixed with that, mixed with I auditioned for my very first play when I was 10 years old, and it was Annie the musical. And I actually ended up getting the understudy of Grace because I couldn't sing that well. So I was like, all right, so like, I'll be the understudy. I guess I'm still in the play. I still get to go to rehearsals. I still get to go to the cast party, you know, whatever. Like, I didn't see it as I wasn't in the play, you know? And then the girl that they cast as Grace, literally 2 days before opening night, she is in a hospital. Like, she had some medical issues, and we're like 11, 10 years old, like we're kids.
Yeah.
So it didn't dawn on me like this girl was like in trouble. I was just like, oh, well, like, you know, God has given me the opportunity to be this person. And she's like, Iesha, I just need you to go out there and just do it and give it your all. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have fun. Like, that's what I'm thinking. And I remember on our opening night, and I'm out there and I'm doing all this stuff. And apparently the girl who played Annie, we were backstage. I think we were going into act 2 or something. And we just had a long pause between me going out. And our acting teacher was that back there. She's coaching Annie. And she's like, if you just look at Iesha, she's out there being free, just saying the lines, just laughing at things that happen, kind of feed off of her energy. And it took me back. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I was understanding, like, this girl's a star. And she's sitting here telling her to act like me. Like, that did something to my brain, was just like, you got this. Like, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I don't know, from there, it just kind of triggered something in me. And then like a few months later, I was in this group called Soul Creation, where we dance like African dance. And then I ended up winning their Black Star Award at 10 years old. And I was the youngest one in the group. So it's always instilled in me that, like, you can do something. You can be in theater, you can be a star, you can act, dance, sing, and you're going to shine regardless. So I don't know. That's just how it started.
No, good. It sounds like positive affirmations early on.
Yeah.
And you know how to be in the moment. There's a lot of people, and I figured this out, not that I've done a lot of scripted work as an actor, but feedback, like not just delivering my line, but responding, body language, head gestures, hand movements. When somebody else's line is up, it's not just like, okay, wait for them to say their last line, and then I go, like, would you like some more coffee with that, sir?
I've never asked for coffee.
So
yeah, I get that.
Now, have you worked on anything? Like, because I know you're creative. Like, do you write anything? Do you have any little side projects of your own? Obviously, you're gonna have an idea every once in a while.
I know, and it's been burning a hole in me because I've been writing my same script. You probably know, but I've been writing Young Woman still.
Okay.
I've been working on Young Woman. It's just been my baby. I've kept it so close to me, and now, like, I don't know, like, I had got to a big climax part and I didn't want it to generically write it, or I hate to say it, but I didn't want to, like, Tyler Perry write it, where it was just like all played out so corny. So I was thinking of all different type of ways, and it's still something I'm, marinating in my mind, but I'm starting to get toward the end and in the climax and the resolution.
Is it challenging when you see someone like Issa Rae, and she started out with the web series, and I feel like there's not enough shoulder room for more than one Black woman to be prominent like that? Do you feel like for me, it's like, okay, we already got a light-skinned guy on the show. We don't need another green-eyed, blue-eyed, light-skinned guy. Like, do you feel that at all, that constraint? Like, has that been a challenge?
No. What I see, honestly, I see a lot of African-American women who are young, beautiful, and they get to a certain level and then it doesn't go anymore. And that's what kind of frightens me, because I'm like, what? Like, I mean, Taraji, yes. I feel like it takes a little time, or you have to be a little older but when you're like young, it gets to a point and then it kind of just stops. And I don't know why. So I'm kind of hindered by that. But at the same time, I want to see those women push past that threshold and see exactly what it is that they've done to get that far, and just how they continue. Because like, who was it? Nicole Bahari, she was on so much and she was doing so much, and then it kind of like stopped. And then Tika Sumpter, she was on so much, she was doing so much, and then it's kind of slowed down. And I'm just like, what are they doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, why are we continuing getting those roles and things like that? But I understand it's a million of us. We're all, powerful and magical in our own way. Yeah. But I'm excited to see what Issa Rae does next, though, because I think that'll be my next answer, because I feel like with the web series, for it to blow up into the show that it did, then I want to see what happens after.
Yeah.
Because that'd be the part where it just starts trickling down. You'll be like, what are they doing back there?
Right.
Yeah, and that's when Hollywood gets its, this little demons start coming out and we start seeing stuff. I'm like, what's up with
I'm trying
Hollywood?
to tell you. That's okay. I got my next book is about it, so don't you worry. It will all be disclosed.
Okay,
But I see you as like, you know, not right now, but like Loretta Devine, or you know, just not gonna go anywhere. You know, there's just always gonna be, and you know who they are when they and they kind of steal the scene when they're in it. You know, so I respect that. Now you post a lot of yoga.
Oh yeah.
What has this done for you? Where did this come from?
Oh
Were you a yogi when I met you?
No, and what's
Mhm.
crazy is yoga has just physically formed my spiritual side. I mean, because I've always been like a meditative person who loves burning her sage, who loves nam myoho renge kyo, you know, and right. So yoga kind of brought that into like a physical form for me. So when I'll practice, like I found some people that practice this the way that I like the energy to be, and it's just been great. And then one of my good friends, Ariel, started, she's a yogi for real, like she took off with it. And I love it because like we kind of link up and do it together, or just like watch each other and encourage each other. Like, yeah. So she just messaged me and she was like, you should teach a prenatal yoga. And I'm like, girl, this is my first pregnancy. I'm not trying.
Now you just dropped the exclusive. I was trying to wait till the end of the interview, but yes, this is your first pregnancy you are expecting. Because I felt like an idiot last week or 2 weeks ago when you posted. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Is this like a filter or something? Is she playing? Because you didn't respond.
No. I had this because I played a couple times years before. Like I'll eat something and then look real fat and then post it. Then people will be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, nothing good. I was lunch. Leave me alone. So it was funny because you're like, "Are you expecting?"
But that's because you keep your private life private. You know, can't nobody.
Yeah, it's just sometimes like because with pregnancy, early stages, you just never know what'll happen. So now that I'm almost 5 months, it's kind of like, okay, I can shout it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's having babies these days. I'm not.
This quarantine,
Look. It's mating season.
Relationship.
Yeah. How have you navigated that this last year? You know, how has it been?
It was hard at first because it was just like the reality of the situation kind of took a toll, just to know that there's folks dropping dead left and right. You never know. It was airborne at first, and now it's like mucus, and then it's like you just never know where it was coming from. So that first hindered me, and then like I day jobbed in the medical field as a caregiver, so I had to constantly make sure I was tested and clean and things like that. So that kind of helped me keep my head on straight about it, because it's like you're on the straight and narrow, you staying at home, you're doing what you got to do, and then just the year continued throughout the brutality, and just it was a tough 2020, man.
Yeah.
It was a couple times I had to be in my bathroom just curled up in a ball and I just want to go out and see my friends and purge all of this energy off of me.
Right.
And it was really hard to do so. And working in the medical field, that I couldn't go to protests. So like they really encouraged us. They're like, I know y'all want to be there, but just protest online and do what you can. But I really encourage you guys not to, be around a lot of people, because, if you get somebody sick, ooh, that's your job, that's your license, that's,
Yeah.
So I couldn't be around, but
I gotcha.
It was a tough one, but luckily I have a good man.
Yeah.
A good man. He's stuck by my side, holding me when I'm crying, and I don't know what's going on, because I'm a very sociable person. I'm extrovert. I love being around people. I started dance classes and
I know. No.
And, right, like, so it was hard for me to be just in the house with just one person. We ended up getting a cat. I love my cat.
Yes. What's the cat's name?
His name is Jax, because I feel like Max is a dog name. So I was like, Jax seems more like the cat name of Max.
Oh my gosh.
But he responds now to his name. He's somewhere around here.
He's adorable.
Yeah. Aww. So I mean, coming out of quarantine with a ring and a baby, I feel like we did good.
Yeah. You think this is, teetering, I'd say tapering off? Like, you think we're coming out of it? Because I'm hearing all this stuff on the news. And
I have no idea.
yeah.
I don't know what the second strand is going to look like. Hopefully, it's not as deadly. I mean, honestly, hasn't been that many recorded deaths from the second strand. So hopefully, it doesn't take a big toll on us.
Right.
And this vaccine does whatever it's supposed to do. I don't know. I'm just praying. I'm staying in the house.
I'm going to tell you what. I mean, I got COVID around December 19th, December 20th. And yeah, I have had my lips swell up just from a little tiny pill for my blood pressure. And so that's anaphylactic shock. And so to hear about this vaccine throwing people into anaphylaxis, which is where your mouth swells, your throat can swell, you can't breathe. Like people that are allergic to bees, they carry around an EpiPen. So they can stab themselves in the thigh with epinephrine if they get stung or if they eat peanuts. And so I'm just not running out to get vaccinated. And I can't not risk when I'm already prone to have an allergic reaction from the smallest, tiniest pill to getting shot up and then, you know,
shut up.
Yeah, and like Hank Aaron just died, like, and he got the vaccine a few days before he died. Now, granted, he was older, but I'm hearing about. I know of another guy named Eric, black guy, throat started swelling up. So I usually try to steer away from like the political stuff and the conspiracy stuff I enjoy, but I'm just like, for me and myself, you know, I survived it. I have the antibodies. Me and my mom got it. And so it is what it is. But I wanted to ask you kind of a throwback. I mean, this is weird and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but do you remember like this term, like the man in white?
Oh my God. Yes. It was a man that lived in.
Okay, because I have a series on this show of like spooky, scary ghost stories. And I have mentioned this. What is the man in white? Where did this come from?
So you started this.
No, I did not, because I moved in and I had already felt something. I kept looking over my shoulder on that couch. And then like a week later, you were like, have you noticed? Have you seen anything in here? And I was like, I don't know. It feels kind of off. Like I keep looking over my shoulder.
But then I put it in a form.
You said that he
one day, you were like, you had said something like, I have noticed a spirit. And it was just like one of those dramatic moments. And I'm like, then we all had a moment. And then a couple days later, I remember I was like, I was in the kitchen and I turned around. There was this man.
You were?
I remember I said something, but then it was like everyone else had seen it too.
So wait, what did you see?
I just saw a figure, but it was like a man. Like we were so fixated about a man in a white, either he was in a white suit or just like white clothing. And it was just like this spirit that we would just see. And I mainly see it in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was mentioned the scene in the bathroom or in the hallway. Did you see it in the hallway?
So I never saw it, but you,
Yeah,
okay. So I was sitting on the couch one night because when I first got there, you were like, well, you know, he just kind of protects me. You know, he doesn't really like any guy, you know, and even my friends coming over. So I was like, okay. And then I think before you went to Chicago, there was one night we were talking about it and I had my drink on the coffee table and it slid on the coffee table and fell off. Do you remember that? Right in front of both of us.
I think so.
Because we were talking about it and that cup moved by itself and fell off. Like he knocked my drink off the table. And you were like, oh no, like you just turned around and went in your room. So you went to Chicago over a Christmas break. Like I had a whole seance. I talked to a witch. She told me what to do, like put a bowl of water out and a candle. I had sage burning. As soon as you got back, you were like, did you get rid of the man in white? I was like, yep. And that's how I knew it worked. But I had my own little spirits following me, so I had to deal with that.
Yeah, he was a good guy though.
He was a good guy to you. He didn't like guys. He didn't like me.
I never got like a scary of him. It was just kind of like his presence was always there. And I was just like,
yeah.
Like I'd be in the kitchen, you know, my back turned and I was like,
But you scared me in the kitchen one time. Do you remember that?
No, when?
See, now I'm tripping because now I'm wondering if this was him. Because I went in the kitchen at like midnight, just got up out my room, walked in the kitchen. I turned around and you were just like, boo, standing like nose to nose with me. I was so mad. No, see, now I'm wondering if it was you. Oh my gosh. This just got deep. You would have remembered that. I was so mad at you. Because I wanted to swing. I was so mad. Oh my gosh.
That might have been me. I do play. I play a lot.
Play too much. No, I'm playing. Awesome.
Do.
Well, I ain't gonna hold you up for too long. I'm so glad we could check in. I call these Keeping It Real, K.I.R episodes. So this is definitely gonna get featured. Yes, and congratulations on the incoming life.
Thank you. Yes, I'm just excited. I just feel like I'm manifesting all the things I want by 2022. I just want to be a wife, a working mom, and an actress. Like, I'm officially SAG now.
Yeah. Got that 3-day shoot.
Right. So it's been going in the up and up, and I just want to keep feeding it positive energy.
Good. You're doing it. I'm sending good vibes your way, but
Thank you.
So good to see you. I love you so much, and thank you,
I
for taking the time.
Eric. I wish I could give you a big hug right now. How's Atlanta? How's Atlanta's treating you well?
It's okay. We've had some shootings down the street and protests coming down our street because those police officers were here. Now the police station's gone, and I've been I got this homeless man. I guess didn't like how I responded to him because I didn't respond, and he hit me across my back. So I had to call the cops. So it's just like, and then these guys show up at this because the house next to us is empty. They show up on my porch. One of them's got a gun. So thank God, Irie, my dog, he barks like a man, like, whoo. So they, and people thought I was tripping. But the thing is, here we are almost a month ago, my cousin's in his front yard in Altadena, and these gang members walk up behind him and shoot him 7 times, popped off 22 bullets. He may not walk again. So, it's unfortunate with COVID and the way things are going politically with the police that crime is escalating. And so you can never be too safe. I'm not going to act like I haven't looked into getting a gun. I'm not going to say I don't have a gun. But, this is the dirty South.
Right. Well, I say you stick it out a couple more years and hopefully you won't be alone.
Oh, hey, it's popping. The industry's booming.
It really is. And this snow out here is ugly and it's disgusting in the ghetto, and I don't like it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want no parts of the snow no more.
They're filming something right down the street, as a matter of fact. So we got room for you.
All right. Because I'm like, we're buying a house and I need the most for my money.
Yes. All right. We better be neighbors.
Yay.
She's like, boy, bye. Ain't nobody dealing with your drunk ass. Take your ass around the corner. Hey, well, it's so good to see you. Tell Teddy I love her and hello.
I will.
One day we'll be all back together.
Yes, we will. She's supposed to be moving out actually toward the end of this year, so you'll probably be seeing her.
Let me gird my loins.
Yes, and clench your pearls, child.
Oh, we tease each other. All right. I'm gonna let you go. We could be here all day.
Yes, we can. Okay. All right. Well, so good to see
Iesha Costin, everybody. Is that how you say your last name?
Well, I'm going by Iesha Rochelle now.
Iesha Rochelle. Excuse me. I can edit that out.
It's all right.
We good. Yeah. All right. Ciao, darling.
All right. Mwah. Bye.
Well, there you have it, Miss Iesha Rochelle. Hey, Iesha, congratulations on the new life growing inside of you. I'm so excited to meet that little thing. That was such a fun interview. It was just like chopping up old times. Man, what a live spirit, what a live soul. So grateful for her, so grateful for you all. What a great episode. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to keep dishing it out. I'm going to keep bringing it back here on the Rhetorical Sake. But for the time being, Enjoy your time on this planet. Tomorrow is not promised. And if nobody told you you're worth it, let me tell you one more time, you are most certainly worth it. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.